Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and we have another new breakdown for you today on Kim Collins. He is the sprinter here in lane one, and one of the things that I've been doing lately is just really working on the start and really trying to make it so people can understand the start the best that I possibly can. And so I'm gonna go ahead and break this down. I got a comment from a subscriber that said I should do the Kim Collins breakdown, so I thought I would. So we'll go ahead and hop right into the breakdown. So we'll see Kim Collins again. He's a lane one. This is when he ran 10.07. Actually, was a world champion here. Excellent first step. We can see that this is as zoomed out as it possibly can. So this is the best definition that we can get. But one of the things I think is interesting is that he gets a really high heel recovery here. Right, so this is something that a lot of times people are not coaching anymore, is to get to such a high heel recovery, which makes it so now his knee comes out and he has to push really far out to the side. That's really a lot of time that he spent off of the ground right there in that first step. In trying to get himself going. Then he recovered very, very cleanly here with this step here. Looks like it's on the ball of his feet. And then from there, he has just a great, excellent drive phase. I mean, it's something that is really, really interesting to look at how good he is at his drive phase. And it looks like he's able to do that. And why he's able to do that is because of the balance that he has on the balls of his feet. And I think this is a very, very underrated part of being able to run fast and really, accelerate is your ability to have a lot of strength within your feet and your toes. So one of the things that I've been doing is I'll go in and get my hands up against the wall. Imagine there being a wall here, and then having my foot like this, right, and then allow myself to my heel to come down and touch, and then be able to get all the way up onto my toes and onto the balls of my feet, and be able to really build that strength up, because it really forces you to get to a lot of range of motion in the feet, which I think is super important, and then also builds that strength to be able to push off while going through that drive phase. So, I think that's an excellent drill to really build up the lower part of your foot and ankle and things like that. And I also think it'll really help with people in their drive stays. Notice also that when he's here, he's really doing a great job of staying down. I think a lot of these guys are doing a great job of staying down, but the big focus here is really being able to push off well and then not wasting too much time when your foot's back behind you. There's an art to being able to push off the ground here and being able to drive that knee straight up and through and not wasting too much time with your foot coming upwards, right? So when you're driving up off the ground, your foot is definitely going up, but it could go too far up and make it so then you're wasting time. It could also go too far across. So making sure that you're getting some video of yourself sprinting and seeing the behind footage, I think, is important to make sure that that you're not crossing over with your feet on each one of your steps. So knowing where your feet are. I mean, you can cross the midline a little bit, but you don't want to have especially like a huge compensation or a huge asymmetry from one side compared to the other. All right, so you can see pushing off. Now he's getting going into his strides here. And now he's doing a really good job of getting his knees up and getting some extension there in the legs and then pulling down underneath. He's landing with his legs really straight. And then notice how fast his contact time is when he's just going here, boom, touching, being able to push right back off the ground. He's a little bit quicker, it seems like, on the left side. Right side, he's a little bit more of his power leg. He bends that knee a little bit more and then is able to push off. And there is a lot of times a difference within a sprinter where he's going to have one leg that's going to be a little bit more of a power leg and the other leg's going to be a little bit of a more fast twitch, really quick leg. So right side looks like his power leg. Left side seems like the leg where he's able to really get a lot of quickness. Look at how straight he is when he's touching that left side down in comparison to the right side where he ends up bending that knee a good amount there and then pushes off. But he's still able to get a lot of extension in the leg, extension within that arm, and also drive that arm up and through. And I think that's a very underrated part of running as well, is that the extension you're able to get here should really match the extension you're able to get up top, right? These are all guys that are competing at a very high level, so they're all very, very similar in where their running mechanics are. They're all running sub 10.2, 10.3, and so the difference is not as much, but when I see a lot of the breakdowns, what happens is that guys aren't able to get as much extension in their legs or their arms, right? So as they bring their arms back, they don't get as much extension and they don't sync it up very well with their back leg and being able to push off. And then there's also a I see a lot of times where you're not bringing the hand all the way up and through. Notice how he's getting his hands all the way up to his eyebrows. And I think that's the least that you have to do is get your hands up to your eyebrows and then be able to extend your shoulders all the way back. I usually say get your elbows all the way up to your shoulders. He's not getting it that far, but he's still getting a lot of extension. And I almost think that more importantly, it's the timing of it. So being able to extend, see his right leg is extending at about the same time his left arm is extending. So really working to make sure that you're timing up the extension on both sides so you're able to master that, I think is super important to make it so you're able to sprint as fast as you can. All right, his big thing is going to be starting his drive phase. So as he gets later on into the race, he still ran 10:07. So, that's still an amazing overall run, almost beat the 10-second mark. But you can see that here, he got himself into a great lead because of some of the things that he did with being able to push off, being able to get great extension, and then from there being able to have that core strength to be able to maintain a very upright posture as he was running. And then from there, ended up getting caught a little bit here at the end, and it might not just had the overall conditioning. It looks like he ended up kind of tiring out here while some of these other guys started coming on. But there's an art to how you run the 100 as well. Christian Coleman, somebody that has really, I think, mastered the start, mastered that drive phase, and is still working on developing that top end speed phase. For somebody like Usain Bolt is somebody that was constantly trying to work on his start and his drive phase, but had that top end speed. He could rely on that anytime. So everybody's a little bit different. Understanding what are some of the things you can improve on. I think that's a huge thing that you can get from this video, and understanding what are some key things to look at when you're looking at your start, when you're looking at your drive phase, and really when you're looking at your top end speed phase. All right. I have a bunch of cool programs that are available for you guys. You can go ahead and click any of the links below to find out more. We have some free information for you if you want to get more in depth about sprinting mechanics and how you can run faster. Or we also have some programs that are part of the that are below as well. I know the programs are a little bit more expensive than what you're typically used to, and that's just because of the personalization that we have within them, where you get the breakdowns and you get a better understanding and a better example of what it is that you're doing in your running that is, impacting your ability to run faster. So I think really getting the breakdowns really helps you out, as well as doing the Zoom sessions. All right, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon.